Welcome back to Super Tuesday Recap. This is your host, Chris and D-Palm here. It is that time, folks. We are here to review the 100th episode of Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Marvel's Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Season 5, Episode 12, The Real Deal. Coulson finally reveals the mysterious deal he made with Ghost Rider, which will impact everyone on the team. Yeah, man.
I haven't relaxed yet, to be fair.
I haven't been watching these live most times because I've been going on busy. This one I did.
I've watched Zero of the season live, but yeah, this is the one. I checked in.
I had to do it. There was no way I was gonna miss the 100th episode of this. Like I said, we said this last week. If this is the last season, bravo. Go out swinging. Go out on your terms. Do what you got to do. I am totally okay with that because it feels like we're getting this. I mean, we're gonna jump around this and talking about this stuff, but they brought back Deathlok, yo. They brought back Mike. We've been saying, like, they don't always bring back Mike, but when they do, it's meaningful. And they brought back Mike. They brought back some other Shield faces. I was like, look, dude, if somehow, and I know it wasn't gonna happen, but if somehow Samuel L. Jackson had showed up as Nick Fury,
I'm still not sure Ward didn't show up. Like, I was very much like, where's that son of a bitch?
Well, I mean, I think technically the Hive was Ward.
No, I meant like,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, the actor Brett Dalton on the street.
No, you're absolutely right. But I mean, it's just like it was. Oh man. First of all, I just love the idea. So let me step back. So last week we were talking about how it really feels like we're getting this Secret Warriors like deal here, where they're kind of not doing exactly what the comic books did with there, because you can't, but kind of giving us a feel for that. And the fact that whatever them blowing up these three monoliths brought in this fear dimension, I was like, close enough, guys. Because you asked last week, it's like, dude, are we gonna get Alex? Can we get Alex?
I'm just saying, like,
close enough.
I mean, fear dimension, I'll take it.
I mean, like I said, they didn't get a fear dimension out of nowhere they didn't pull that out of thin air for nothing, right? So I just appreciate how they're doing this and the characters they're pulling in here, and the fact, like, I think you even said it, like, we might get like the last ride of the Howling Commandos. You know, it's just, I can't wait for this. This is something special. I am just, whew, man. So good.
It's so amazing that this little show that 5 years ago people said, who would watch this? The Avengers you want to see aren't going to be on it. Why would you ever do this? And from the beginning, go, I don't like this show. It's too formulaic. It's too blah, blah, blah. And by turn, those critics have gone away. And those of us who've been there from day one can say, we told you so. 100 episodes in, we had a character who we met in the first episode interacting with a character we met in the future in this season. How many shows can say they had that kind of tight writing, that kind of continuity? Watching Deathlok and Deke interact was really, really cool.
Right.
Like, it's the beginning of the show, and as revealed through dialogue, the logical endpoint of the show, and that he's Fitz and Simmons' grandson.
Right.
Like, literally, like, this is amazingly well done, amazingly well pulled off, and just the entire episode, it did what the show does best. It did action, of course, with the Deathlok scenes. It did comedy with, I mean, everything involving Deke is funny. I'm sorry.
Yo, he ate Lysol. Lysol. Come on, man.
Tide Pod eating fools. Like, I'm surprised there wasn't a disclaimer. I wonder if they had him eating a Tide Pod. They're like, no, we can't do it. Why not? We just can't. Kids are dumber than we thought.
Right. Way dumber.
Way dumber. But in the end, like, the show is about people and it's about heart. And when he gets called out for calling them a team, Phil, you know, we're more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so affecting. And and it's earned. The emotional resonance is earned. Like the moment when Mike Peterson's like, "This isn't real, Phil."
We gotta have a whole conversation about.
No, we're gonna have that. I think that's what you're talking about at the end of the show.
Yeah,
at the end of this episode.
Because that was just
because when Deathlok shows up, the way Phil looks at him, it's like, shit, that's another out.
Right. It's just, whew, boy. But
killing him is the same wound that started the show. Like, there may be more weight. You know what? So that was one of the big things about for me. So Kevin Tetron came back to direct this episode. He's directed a lot of your favorites in the series, excuse me. But there's a lot of Buffy callbacks in this episode. The first time ever we've heard 5x5 on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
Which people were like, that's from Buffy. I'm like, actually, it's from fighter pilots in World War II. But it's also from Buffy. The entire idea that Coulson's gone crazy and is fighting off the death is there's an episode of Buffy where she's in a mental institution.
Yeah.
And they tell her that she says that her whole life has been.
Yeah, that she's not a vampire slayer. Yeah, I remember the episode. Yeah.
And they never really clarify if it's true or not.
Yeah, you're right. They don't. They don't.
So like, wait, is this just the ranting of a crazy girl? Like, has I been watching? And that's what they did here. Lots of these little moments, and just it was very Whedon-esque. It was very, I don't know, for someone who's like lazily rewatching parts of Angel, like it felt really good to watch.
Well, I like the fact so starting at the beginning when Coulson's like, it's got to be me. I'm going to go down here and do this. And they're like, no, this doesn't make sense. You're the general. You're the leader. And he keeps going and like, no, like knowing that he's dying and knowing that he needs the rest of the team to be strong because what they can provide after, particularly Daisy and being, you're going to lead S.H.I.E.L.D. after I'm gone. And this idea that he has to have S.H.I.E.L.D. there, that S.H.I.E.L.D. needs to exist. And it kind of goes to, when you think about it, everything that Coulson's represented. S.H.I.E.L.D. has been everything for him. You know, he was there. The first time we meet Coulson is Iron Man 1, where they didn't have the name S.H.I.E.L.D. at the time because they still had the long form. He's like, no, it's just S.H.I.E.L.D. Just S.H.I.E.L.D. When he's killed in Avengers and Fury's like, yo, you know, Coulson believed in this. Like, so he's a true believer. He's died for this. He's died for S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, and so it makes sense to me that, you know, with him going, he doesn't want S.H.I.E.L.D. to die with him.
Right.
And if you think about it, that's what anybody would want. Anybody who has a legacy doesn't want it to die with them. They want it to continue on. They want people to continue on their names, and he doesn't want people to think that S.H.I.E.L.D. is just him. You know?
Or that S.H.I.E.L.D. can be killed.
Yeah, that too. You know? And so, you know, it's just, man, it was so great. And then when they find out, like, it didn't even occur to me that the deal he made with Ghost Rider was that whatever was holding him together, whatever brought him back, will be burned out of his system. And it was, I was like, oh my God, that's literally, it didn't even cross my mind. It's like, that's literally his old scar. That's the scar from Loki's scepter that went through from his back to his front, and his reopening. It didn't even cross my mind until they said. I was like, "Fuck, of course," and it makes sense now. And he's, you know, he's trying to do what he can before he dies, and like it was just so emotional because, you know, between Daisy and May, like, they were there from the beginning. I mean, you know, Fitz and Simmons too, but really those two, because they really are, if you think about our family unit. And I love the fact that they actually even, I think is when Mike was talking, I can't remember exactly when it happened, but they bring up the fact that, yo, like, Daisy's basically your surrogate daughter.
This is what you've wanted. You built a family for yourself, a daughter, a woman you love. Like he calls out the things that we say have always. He made subtext. He made textual what had always kind of been subtext about the character.
Yeah, just like that makes sense. Like it's there. Like that's what they've always been. So we get in these scenes with, you know, Daisy talking to Phil, and then May talking to Phil, May asking us, "Is this why we took a break?" And it's just you can see that they're hurt by his decision not to, one, fight it, and two, not to tell them. But they also understand that this is Phil Coulson. Like, this is definitely something he would do to protect his team and to have them carry on without him, because in a way I think he does downplay how important he is and that he has been S.H.I.E.L.D. for so long. Like, when you think S.H.I.E.L.D. at this point, I think Phil Coulson more than I think Nick Fury, at least in this universe. So, yeah, to have him go, it's like, that's a huge thing. Can we carry on without him? So, yeah, man, that was heavy, man. That was, a lot. I also like the fact that when they see the little fear dimension thing, I like that each episode we're kind of going through these. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is what ends the world, which means that it's going to be something we didn't expect. Because all these things, last week it was the Kree beacon. This week it was this little tear when they blew up 3 monoliths and created a fear dimension. So, and then they closed that. So it hasn't been these things unless it becomes a combination of all of them. And it's not one thing they have to stop, but it's all of them that lead to this point. But I like that we're going through that little progression. And I think it feels better. So it's a couple things. It feels, and I'm not gonna bring up other shows, but it feels like they're doing a better job of keeping us on our toes of what's coming next, as well as they're showing us, because even with this episode, they're showing us we're in this time loop. These things are happening. The fact that Deke goes out and finds a ring that he ends up giving to his grandparents. He doesn't know their grandparents. That ends up then getting passed down to his parents, because that's how he knows that ring looks like the ring that his mother and father had. Like, this kind of confirms we're in this time loop, guys. We haven't gotten out. These things are happening. So how do you break it? Because right now we haven't broken anything out.
Right now, we're right on track.
Right, we're full steam ahead. We're doing what we have to do. Now, it could be that what Yo-Yo says to Yo-Yo in the future says to Yo-Yo of the present is true. Is the way out is to let Coulson die, which is clearly not something this team is going to want to do.
Right.
But it might be what they have to do to let him go. And I don't want to say I'm okay with that, but I get it.
I think Max is going to go pull a bolt in Coulson.
Yeah.
Look, it's the only way. Otherwise, we can say, and you can have the knowledge that you shouldn't try to save him. That's not what this team's going to do. Mm-hmm. They're emotionally compromised. They're going to try to save him. Mm-hmm. Whether they know not to, they shouldn't or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we saw it. They was like, we have to fight because he's not going to. Mm-hmm. Like, Coulson, here's the thing. Coulson, you were a rule breaker. You raise a team of rule breakers. You can't give them commands and expect them to follow them. Because they're not going to. They're not going to. That's not how you train them. So, yeah. I also like how I'll get to that later. So yeah, no, I think that's one of the interesting parts about this whole thing is that we're still right on track, and there's not seeming any way out yet.
And it's faster than we thought.
Way faster than we thought.
Like, we thought, okay, maybe nope. There's no time to catch your breath. And it's the thing that Enoch said when they were taken. It's the last time you're all seen together. Mm-hmm. They haven't been seen together since publicly.
Yeah, you're right.
Last public report to them all together was them in that diner. Mm-hmm. They will never be seen together by the public again.
Yep. I mean, and there's,
you know that for a fact.
Yes. Yep. So
it's all bad.
Well, and here's the thing: we do know there's a couple of things that happen that we probably won't get to on the show unless they start doing time jumps. here's the thing. I mean, at some point, Fitz and Simmons have to have a kid.
Mm.
You know, and you know, Yo-Yo does get some kind of arms back, so we know that. Like, so there. I mean, I think that will happen. That will happen soon.
You're right.
Yeah, that'll happen soon. But the kid thing is like kind of showing you that, okay, that might not happen soon. At some point, they're going to come up with Robin and her mother. I'm assuming. Again, meet up with them. So I'm really interested in seeing how far we go with this and where we go and how these figure things out. Like again, when the flashback we did see in that Robin episode, they were jumping all over the place. I do definitely think we do get that scene of Daisy leaving the Quinjet.
Oh, we're gonna get every scene we saw, which is the scary part.
Maybe.
I think nothing they showed us isn't gonna happen.
Okay.
I'm really kind of firm in that belief.
Okay. Only reason why I said, oh no, I guess.
Think about the fast forward episode we have with Robin's dad.
True. So
every scene happened.
Yeah, we'll have to. Yeah,
it wasn't what we thought, because remember one of them was one of the scenes was Fitz and Simmons sitting in the snow, but it wasn't snow.
True, valid.
Not everything's what we thought it was, but I think everything in that vision is gonna come to pass.
True. Valid point. So, yeah, man, I just definitely some tears in this, man. Yeah, go ahead.
This episode was just it tugged at your heart, man. It was something like we're watching. It's like a lot of things you thought they couldn't do, they did. I can't believe they actually pulled off that wedding.
Look.
Everyone's apparently still alive.
I love the fact that at some point, I think it's Coulson goes, listen, we gotta speed this up a little bit, because who knows when the fuck's gonna happen next. So we gotta have this happen. And I knew that again. I love how the show drops little hints in there here and there, because before Coulson went down into the lower decks to close off the dimension with the device, he had told Fitz, he was like, yo, remember that, if I don't come back, remember that, to do that thing I told you. So tradition, I was like, that's him telling him, you're going to get married like today. If no matter what happens, you're going to do that. And the fact that they did send out Deke, one, to contact the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D., but also to gather supplies for the wedding.
That was a list. That was so cool.
Right. I was like, wait a minute. So, yeah, you sent them out there to contact the rest of the S.H.I.E.L.D., any other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents that are out there, but then also to get stuff for a wedding. Like, at everything that's going on right now, they literally might have opened another rift to a dimension that literally could be the end of the world. Like, we still got to get this list of shit. You're the only one that's not on the radar of anybody. You got to get this stuff done. And I love the fact that they also at the same time had General Hall in the town trying to figure out what's going on and where the agents are, Daisy's there, and blah, blah, blah. And the entire time you're thinking, fuck, they're going to catch Deke. They're going to catch Deke. Oh, this is fucking
eating ice cream, chilling.
Right. It's like, this motherfucker's gonna get caught. It's gonna be bad. Like, they're gonna find out. And then when they get the call that they're getting a transmission, you're like, son of a bitch, what's going on? And then the Quinjet comes, and it's Deathlok, it's everybody, it's all the other S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. And you're like, Deke actually did it. And then you get Hall basically going, this is nothing. There was nobody here. We're gonna leave. And I'm just like, son of a bitch. Like this,
I really liked Deke. Was it if you tuck your pants into your shoes, nothing goes up.
Why is everybody's fear? Who dreamed of a fear of a nice little outdoor, like by a lake with trees and all that? Outdoors terrifying. I don't like. You don't like.
Yo, Deke with the at the very beginning. No, I already did the hero sacrifice thing. I'm not doing it again. I already tried. That's how I got here. I refuse. I just discovered a world where ice cream exists. Nah, dog. I want your belt buckle.
I just wanted your belt buckle.
Anything for the cause.
I just wanted the belt buckle. But I could totally understand why you forgot.
I was like, Deke, don't do it. I was like, Deke, don't do it. They don't deserve you, Deke.
Like, I can totally understand why Deke would freak out. Like, Deke's like, yo, I sacrificed myself for the universe. I almost died.
It's like, nah, man, I did the heroic shit. We're done with that. We're off that. We're on some whole other shit.
Whole other shit right now. Oh, man, that was great. That was so
he was
good.
right. He was 100% right.
100% right. 100% right on that one. So good on that. I also love Coulson having what are the chances there's a Stay Plus Marshmallow Man down there? Always gotta have the humor, yo.
The writing on this show sometimes it's almost unfair.
It's unfair because again, the way they have the tension, the way they wrote the Deke stuff outside with the whole stuff, it's like it's not heavy handed there, but you don't know what's going on because you're so focused on the emotional stuff with Coulson, and you're like, oh, this is how they're gonna get caught, and nope, misdirection, yeah. But it worked, you know. I guess we can go ahead and get into the big thing here. You know, when Coulson goes down there, he's facing the fear, and he's facing Mike Peterson.
Which is crazy because, like, people were like, oh, maybe it should have been Ward. I really think the team's kind of resolved their quote-unquote fear of Ward. I don't think they're scared of Ward anymore. I will say this. I do think that, how do I put this? Mike Peterson being his greatest fear is very interesting because he exists. What's happened to Mike only happened because Coulson got involved in his life. His fear is that my intervention in these people's lives is causing them greater pain.
Yes. It's like it is. If you want to be honest and real, Mike Peterson is Coulson's one of his greatest failures. Mm-hmm. This is a man who became basically part cyborg, doesn't really get to see his kid anymore. Like you said, came across Coulson. And when
to be fair, he was in that program before Coulson got there. But
true.
Like everything that's happened since then has been Coulson's fault.
Right.
And not fault, but like as a direct result or a consequence of knowing Phil Coulson. This is what's happened in your life.
Exactly. And so and that's always been it's a good representation of that because it represents Coulson's fear for everything. Like what would May be doing right now if Coulson wasn't in her life right now? What would she be happy? Would she, you know, what would be going on? What would Skye be doing? Would she be Skye? She wouldn't be Daisy Johnson anymore. She probably wouldn't be an Inhuman. She would be Inhuman, but she might not have been gone through Terrigenesis. Like she
the world may not have gone through Terrigenesis. She may never have outed the Terrigen crystals into the water.
Exactly. Like, so Coulson's biggest fear is that he makes an impact on people's lives that turns him to the worst, brings the worst out of him, puts him in danger.
His touch is a tragic one.
Yeah. It's like you know, being the girlfriend of a Flash. You know, just saying, you go through some tragic shit. Yeah, no. So I totally understand that. And then when this version of Peterson is like, yo, Coulson, this is all in your head. You're still on the fucking operating table. You're just holding on. And I was like, listen.
Yeah, I want to go back to see season 1 to see if Mike Peterson's one of the orderlies who's taking care of it.
Bruh.
Like, I'm like, ooh, is that scene spliced in or reshot? Or I don't want to know. I shouldn't look, but I want to look.
Bruh, listen.
I haven't looked. It's been 2 days and I just haven't looked.
Listen. This is an episode that honestly, because what is this? This is episode 15? No, I'm sorry. This is episode 12. All right? This is
early.
This is ridiculous. All right? I just want to say how ridiculous this is. We have 10 more fucking episodes. Okay? This is absurd. It's episode 12. If this had been like the final episode of the season and this is the final episode of the series, this would have been like I would have gone. You could have had us end with us wondering, is this all in Coulson's head? Or is this it explains so much.
Because when Deathlok shows up, he's like, Coulson's like, fuck.
Right.
that doesn't confirm shit.
Right. It doesn't. It's like I got two Mike Petersons now. And so but it makes it an interesting thing. It's like, when you look back at everything that has happened here and everything centers around, some of the decisions Coulson's made, and it could explain so much because Coulson wanted this so bad to be a hero. When you think about what Coulson was before Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., he wanted to be a hero. He had fucking Captain America trading cards. He helped design that really throwback old school costume. Like, he wanted to matter. He was the contact for Tony Stark and getting Tony Stark involved in evaluating things. Like, so it's like he wanted to matter. He wanted to be there. He wanted to get to this point, and now you have this guy who at one point was having his calls ignored by Tony Stark, and being avoided by him. You now have him basically becoming the director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And when you think about how crazy it is and all the crazy shit they went through, you're like, man, could have all been your head. Now we know it's not because, technically the fall of S.H.I.E.L.D. tied into what happened with into the MCU, but good God, like, there's ways around that, right? Like, it's an interesting thing. It was real, and it made you really, to me, it brought out more of why I love this show. And just going through all those moments there. Like, it was like, fuck, they've been through a lot. And you can definitely see this. And Peterson basically telling us, like, hey, man, you've been fighting so long, man. Just take a break. Just walk into the light. It's all over, man. Just walk back. Just let go.
You've earned the rest.
Yeah, which again is kind of such a meta conversation because he has. Clark.
The show's earned the rest, man. The people working the show have earned 100 episodes. So if people don't know, 100 episodes generally means you hit syndication, which means you're going to make money in perpetuity off of this property. Mm-hmm. You've earned the rest, S.H.I.E.L.D. If this is the end, if this is truly the last ride of the Howling Commandos, I salute everyone who worked on the show, man. Mm-hmm. I salute everyone in a hand in this episode 100 because it was, I don't want to overstate it because it's just one episode. And yes, it's a new approach to the 100th episode because I think you and I both kind of expected something a bit more bombastic, but the show did what it does best. It says, we're going to your emotions. We're going to the things that we've earned over these years. And that's one thing that the show has taught us is that you don't have to go big to affect your audience. Mm-hmm. You can throw Fitz and Simmons in a box in the ocean.
Yeah.
And you're going to affect your audience. You can have Daisy figure out that she's Daisy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the destroying the Human Temple in season 2 was cool. What was really cooler was the end of that season watching her say goodbye to her dad.
Yeah.
And his new life. And when you thought the show was going to go big, episode 100, it went small.
Really personal.
And that's the amazing thing.
Really personal. Well, shit, we didn't get into, Mac and Yo-Yo and just that love there. Like this, I mean, if you think about it, this episode was really personal and about love and relationships. And because you had Daisy and you had May with Coulson, you had Fitz and Simmons, you had Mac and Yo-Yo. Like, it was all there, man. And it's what's made this fan. But it also goes back to what Daisy said to what Daisy said to me before. You don't get to make this decision because we are not just a team, we're a family. And that summed up everything you saw in this episode. This is family. This is family. And even down to bringing those other agents off the ship, you're like, fuck, this family's come home. Like, we're still out here. S.H.I.E.L.D. still exists. There has to be a S.H.I.E.L.D. We're going to keep this shit going. Like, oh, man, I'm just... Everything they did about this was just wonderful. From the promotion of it and then going through... Like, I don't know if you... Did you see the video? Did you finally watch that video where they did 100... They recapped 100 episodes in 100 seconds?
Yeah.
Man.
Ugh.
You go through it and you're like, fuck, man, we've been, I'm going to say, we've been through a lot. I feel like we've all been into this. We've all been here for this ride. We've been through a lot, man. They put these agents, this team through a lot. And here's the crazy thing about it is they're going to go through more. They're about to go through even more soon. And I don't know how to stop it. I don't know where this show is going. I don't know what they're going to do. I just know this fucking show is goddamn amazing. And at this point, like I said, it's, whew, man. I don't know, man. I just, whew. I got nothing else, man. This is
just bravo. I don't know what to say. Like 100 episodes. We've been here 100 episodes, man. And this show is, they brought a level of quality and consistency that people did not think that they could do.
For 22 episode seasons.
Man.
That's the thing. Like, I don't think people understand just like to get this kind of quality consistently. I can't think of when the last time they had a bad episode.
We stopped grading them in season 3. Like, there's no
right. It's just like no point in grading this shit no more. You know, like and like they don't waste time because, like I said, it was amazing. Like all the other shows we were doing, like in CW, like it's like episode 15 or something like that. This is episode 12. 12. We just got, I forgot. We only just got back into the normal time.
Right.
You know, I'm not prepared for this. I didn't sign up for this shit. I didn't sign up for this at all. And like I just think the way that they write these 22 episodes, the way they do this, it shows that you can still do this. You can still do long, full seasons. You just have to plan it out. You have to write it out. You have to have a strong writing team. And let's not downplay the fact you have to have strong actors. Because again, I think the one thing, like, look, I love the action in this episode. I mean, we get a little bit of action with Mike Peterson flipping around and showing that he got a few more upgrades. I fucks with that. Okay, all right, Deathlok, all right, cool. We see what you got there. But the heavy lifting that's been done, I would say most of this season. I mean, I think most of the last 2 seasons, it's all been emotional. It's all been emotional. Fitz and Simmons giving their vows. I actually thought Fitz was going to say, "I jumped through a portal to another world for you."
It's true.
But then you also see that he jumped to another portal to another world without even thinking to save Simmons. But he was stalling on the elevator because he was scared shitless to step out there. It feels like you're stalling, Simmons, Fitz. What do you mean I'm stalling? It's like elevator stopped like a long time ago, like 3 minutes ago. Like we've been stopped. We're here. It's like, oh yeah. So yeah. But like but again that like we've seen what Fitz has done. We saw what he did this season to get to Gemma. He froze himself for 90 fucking years. Didn't hesitate. But here on the elevator, where he's about to go face a woman he loves to say I do. It's, I gotta think about this, man. It's a little. Is the elevator hot? Like what's? I feel
you, Fitz.
Right, but it's just like that's. Wow.
It's grounded. It's real. That's a real. That's something that happens. People. It's relatable, and I think that's the thing at the core of the show that has always escaped some of the critics is that. We love it because it's relatable. We love it because we can. What happens to these characters resonates with us. I've never time traveled yet, but I feel I feel for these characters. I can empathize with these characters. They put them in very human situations that are relatable.
Yeah. Man, I got nothing else for this episode other than, man, just enjoy it, man. If this is the final season, don't fret, don't be upset, just enjoy it and take it all in, 'cause that's what I'm fucking doing with this, man. I fucking love it. So you got anything else you want to say about this episode, man?
Just a resounding round of applause.
Yeah. Fuck, man. They All right, folks. That's it. I'm gonna be putting drops in for this. I don't know if I'm recording. I might be lazy, but again, you can sign up for if you want to hear Marvel's new podcast, The Wolverine: The Long Night, that actually will debut on the 12th of March on Stitcher Premium. You can sign up now and get a free month of Stitcher Premium using the code Tuesday. Just go to Stitcher.com/premium, put that code in there, and you will get a full free month, and you can listen to the Marvel podcast, Wolverine: The Long Night, and you get all the other Stitcher Premium stuff, no ads, and they have comedy albums, all this other stuff on there. So definitely check that out and do that out there. So again, folks, thank you guys very much for listening, and we will be back soon because the season continues. All right, folks, until next time, we're out of here. Peace.